It was a weekend that changed everything. A weekend that would forever be etched in history as one of the most daring heists of all time. In the heart of Antwerp, Belgium, the world's diamond capital, something extraordinary happened. Inside a building designed to be impenetrable, thieves pulled off the impossible. More than $100 million worth of loose diamonds, gold, silver, and jewelry vanished into thin air. No alarms were triggered, no signs of a break-in were immediately visible, and no clear clues were left behind. It was as if the loot had simply evaporated. This wasn't just a theft. It was a masterpiece of planning and execution. The culprits bypassed some of the most advanced security systems ever created, moving with precision and leaving authorities baffled. The heist was so clean and calculated that it seemed like something straight out of a Hollywood movie. But this was no work of fiction. It was real, and it shocked the world. How did the thieves manage to outsmart state-of-the-art technology and slip away undetected? Who were the masterminds behind this audacious crime? And, most importantly, why has the full truth never come to light? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear is only the beginning. The twists and turns of the Antwerp Diamond Heist are just getting started. And trust me, the most shocking detail, one that could change everything, is waiting for you at the end. You won't want to miss it. The Antwerp Diamond Heist wasn't just a robbery, it was a mystery. A puzzle that has captivated investigators, journalists, and the public for decades. As we unravel this story, prepare to enter a world of deception, ingenuity, and danger. This is the tale of the perfect heist. Welcome to Antwerp, Belgium, a city known for its rich history, vibrant culture, and most famously diamonds. For centuries, Antwerp has been the heart of the global diamond trade. Over 80% of the world's rough diamonds pass through this city, earning it the title of the diamond capital of the world. At the center of this dazzling industry lies the Antwerp Diamond Center, a fortress-like building designed to safeguard the city's most valuable treasures. Inside its walls, billions of dollars worth of diamonds, gold, and jewelry are stored at any given time. For traders and jewelers, it's a hub of business. For criminals, it's an irresistible challenge. The Diamond Center wasn't just a building, it was a symbol of security. It boasted some of the most advanced protection systems in the world. There were motion detectors to catch any movement, magnetic locks to secure every door, and heat sensors to detect even the slightest changes in temperature. And then there was the vault, a marvel of engineering. Its steel door had 100 million possible combinations, making it nearly impossible to crack. This level of security was meant to ensure that nothing, absolutely nothing, could go wrong. The building was considered impenetrable, a fortress where the city's wealth was untouchable. But, as history would show, even the strongest fortress can have a weakness. And in February 2003, that weakness was discovered. The Antwerp Diamond Center, with all its state-of-the-art systems, would become the site of one of the greatest heists in history. Every great heist has a mastermind, and the Antwerp Diamond Heist was no exception. Meet Leonardo Notarbartolo, a charismatic Italian thief with a reputation for being both daring and cunning. He wasn't just any criminal. He was a seasoned conman and skilled thief, with decades of experience in high-stakes robberies. To those who knew him, Leonardo appeared to be a successful businessman. He had charm, confidence, and the ability to blend into any environment. But behind this polished exterior was a man who thrived in the shadows, always looking for his next big score. For the Antwerp heist, Leonardo crafted the perfect cover story. He posed as a legitimate diamond trader, renting an office inside the Antwerp Diamond Center itself. This gave him access to the building and a front-row seat to study its layout, security systems, and daily routines. From his office, he observed everything: the traders, the guards, the schedules, and most importantly, the flaws in the building's security. Over months, he built relationships with other tenants, gaining their trust while secretly planning to rob them. Leonardo wasn't working alone. He was the face of the operation, but behind him was a team of experts, each with their own role to play. And with his access to the Diamond Center, he provided the team with all the information they needed to pull off the unthinkable. In his own words, Leonardo later claimed he was just a small player in a larger scheme. But make no mistake, without him, the heist would have never been possible. He was the key that unlocked the door to one of the greatest thefts in history. Leonardo Notarbartolo may have been the mastermind, but pulling off a heist of this magnitude required a team, a dream team of highly skilled professionals, each a master of their craft. First, there was the genius, the brains behind the operation's technical side. He was an expert in electronics, someone who could bypass even the most advanced security systems with precision. Motion detectors, alarms, cameras, none of them stood a chance against his expertise. Then there was the monster. His role was brute force. Strong and fearless, he was responsible for breaking through physical barriers when finesse wasn't enough. If something needed to be destroyed or moved, the monster was the man for the job. Next, there was the King of Keys. A legendary locksmith, he could pick any lock, no matter how complex. With his steady hands and unmatched skill, he turned the impossible task of opening the vault's locks into a manageable challenge. Finally, there was the Shadow. Quiet, agile, and practically invisible, he specialized in stealth. His job was to avoid detection at all costs, ensuring the team could move through the building unnoticed. He knew how to stay in the blind spots of cameras and keep his movements silent. Together, this group was unstoppable. Each man brought a unique skill to the table, and when combined, they formed a team capable of defeating even the most sophisticated security systems in the world. This wasn't just a group of criminals, it was a perfectly orchestrated unit, each member playing a critical role in one of the most ambitious heists of all time. A heist of this scale doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and meticulous planning. For months, Leonardo Notarbartolo and his crew worked in secret, preparing for what would become the heist of the century. Their first step was surveillance. Using Leonardo's office inside the Antwerp Diamond Center as a base, they observed the building's routines, security measures, and vulnerabilities. Every detail was noted: how the guards moved, when the cameras were monitored, and how the vault was accessed. Next came the replicas. The team created exact copies of the vault's security systems, including the alarm system and the locks. In a hidden workshop, they practiced over and over, perfecting their techniques until they could disable the systems with ease. But the real audacity lay in their preparation. The crew smuggled their tools into the building piece by piece over several weeks, hiding them in Leonardo's office to avoid suspicion. This included everything they needed to bypass the vault's high-tech defenses: custom-made tools, gadgets, and even ordinary household items used in extraordinary ways. They also planned for the cameras. The genius, the team's electronics expert, developed a method to disable the security cameras at just the right time. It wasn't enough to break in, they had to make sure they weren't seen. Finally, they rehearsed. Every move, every step of the plan was practiced until it became second nature. By the time the weekend of the heist arrived, the crew knew exactly what to do, how to do it, and how to get away without leaving a trace. This wasn't just a heist, it was a masterpiece of preparation, Months of hard work, precision, and audacity all came together to create a plan so flawless it would go down in history as one of the greatest crimes ever committed. The weekend had arrived, the moment the team had spent months preparing for. Late Saturday night, February 15th, 2003, Leonardo Notarbartolo and his crew made their move. Under the cover of darkness, they entered the Antwerp Diamond Center with precision and confidence, ready to pull off the heist of a lifetime. Their first challenge was bypassing the building's alarm system. The genius, their electronics expert, disabled the system using methods he had perfected during their rehearsals. Cameras were taken offline at just the right moment, ensuring no trace of their presence was captured. Next, they faced the motion detectors. In an ingenious move, they used hairspray to coat the sensors, temporarily blinding them. This simple but effective trick allowed the team to move freely without triggering an alarm. Then came the locks. The king of keys, the team's locksmith, went to work. With precision and skill, he picked each lock in their path, including the vault door's incredibly complex locking system. This door, with its 100 million possible combinations, was no match for his expertise. But the vault had one final layer of defense: heat sensors designed to detect even the slightest changes in temperature. The crew used clever tricks to fool these sensors, ensuring the alarms stayed silent. Finally, the vault was breached. Inside, the crew found what they had been waiting for: bags filled with loose diamonds, gold, silver, and jewelry. They worked quickly but carefully, selecting their loot and loading it into bags. In total, they stole over $100 million worth of valuables. And then, just as precisely as they had entered, the team made their escape. They left no signs of forced entry, no alarms triggered, and no clear evidence to tie them to the crime. By the time Monday morning arrived, the vault had been cleaned out, and the thieves were long gone. It was a heist executed with precision, skill, and an almost unbelievable level of expertise. The Antwerp Diamond Center, once thought to be impenetrable, had been defeated in a single weekend. Monday morning, February 17th, 2003, began like any other day at the Antwerp Diamond Center. But as staff entered the building and approached the vault, they were met with a scene of utter disbelief. The once secure vault, believed to be impenetrable, had been cleaned out. Loose diamonds, gold, silver, and other jewelry worth over $100 million were gone. The scale of the theft was staggering. The vault, which had housed the treasures of dozens of traders, now stood empty, its contents stolen without a single alarm being triggered. The shock was immediate. How could such a secure facility, protected by some of the most advanced security systems in the world, be breached? The Antwerp Diamond Center had been considered one of the safest places on Earth, and yet someone had defeated it with precision. Investigators were called in immediately, but they were faced with an almost impossible challenge. There was no sign of forced entry. The thieves had left no fingerprints, no DNA, and no clear evidence of how they had bypassed the building's security. It was as if the vault had been emptied by ghosts. As news of the heist spread, the diamond industry was thrown into chaos. Antwerp's reputation as the diamond capital of the world was shaken. Traders and jewelers questioned the safety of their own assets, and the heist became a symbol of vulnerability in an industry built on trust and security. The Antwerp Diamond Heist wasn't just a crime. It was a shockwave that rippled across the global diamond trade. And for investigators, it was a frustrating puzzle. The thieves had left behind nothing but questions, and the answers seemed almost impossible to find. Despite the flawless execution of the heist, Leonardo Notarbartolo and his crew made one critical mistake, one that would ultimately lead to their downfall. In their haste to get away, one of the thieves accidentally left behind a small piece of incriminating evidence. A garbage bag, discarded in a dumpster, contained a few items that had been used during the heist, tools and other materials linked directly to the crime. It was a careless mistake, but it was enough for authorities to begin their investigation. The evidence in the bag was the breakthrough that law enforcement needed. They traced it back to Leonardo Notarbartolo, who had been living under the guise of a legitimate diamond trader. After months of surveillance and investigation, the authorities were able to arrest him and bring him to trial. But while Leonardo was caught, the stolen diamonds and jewelry were not so easily recovered. Despite an extensive search, most of the loot remained missing. The crew had gone to great lengths to hide or sell the stolen items, and they covered their tracks well. Leonardo Notarbartolo was sentenced to 10 years in prison for his role in the heist, but the case wasn't truly closed. The missing diamonds continued to haunt the investigation. Some of the stolen goods may have been sold off through underground channels, but most of them vanished without a trace. The Antwerp Diamond Heist left a trail of mystery that never fully resolved. While the mastermind was behind bars, the full story of what happened to the stolen loot remains a mystery to this day. The case became a reminder that even the most carefully planned crimes can unravel, but sometimes the answers we seek are just out of reach. The Antwerp Diamond Heist wasn't just a crime. It was a wake-up call. The audacity and precision with which the thieves pulled off the heist exposed vulnerabilities in even the most secure facilities in the world. For years, the Antwerp Diamond Center had been considered a fortress, its security measures state-of-the-art and nearly impossible to breach. But the heist showed that even the most advanced systems could be defeated by a team of skilled criminals. This revelation sent shockwaves through the global diamond trade and led to a massive overhaul of security protocols in the industry. After the heist, the diamond world tightened its security. Surveillance cameras became more advanced, motion detectors more sensitive, and vaults even stronger. While some of the criminals were caught and brought to justice, the mystery of the missing diamonds remains unsolved. Was it the perfect crime? Or did the thieves simply get lucky, taking advantage of a rare opportunity? We may never know. The answers may be lost forever, buried just like the diamonds themselves. Perhaps some secrets are meant to stay buried, and perhaps this heist will always remain one of the greatest mysteries of our time, an enigma that continues to fascinate and intrigue, even as the years pass by. Here, we reach the end of our story. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel Robbery Mysteries for more interesting videos.